Good afternoon, everyone. All right. Here, please say hello, whether it's live or the rewatch. There, got it out of the way. I'm actually doing this one to help out a friend. And I figured some people would, that they said was, and I get this a lot. Dean, I was doing my 4-step, and, you just kind of help me out with it. The 4-step needs to be done. But there's a good way of going about it. There's some things that you should probably keep in mind while you're doing your 4-step. So let's remember that we've already been through a few things already, right? We just made a commitment to turn. We've just made a commitment to turn our will and our lives over to the power of God. Right? And in the first 3 steps, we have been teaching you a little bit of patience. We've given you some hope. But one thing we've been teaching you is letting go and letting God. Right? And these are skills that you're going to need for the 4th step. Hey, Gary, good afternoon. So these are going to be skills that you need. Okay? So when you do your 4th step, what you want to do is you want to get a notepad, a good size notepad. I made sure I got a nice sturdy one because it would be used a lot. And yes, I still have my 3rd step. I still have my 4th step because I did a lot of work on it. And I need it as a reference for me because I do not remember all of this. So this thing is almost a reminder for me for when I help other people out on what it is that we do, right? So we're going to start. So let's say we're starting our 4th step, right? And we're going to start with a grudge list. Okay, that's usually where we start is with the grudge list. Okay, because we need the people on there. The one thing I almost always hear, nobody ever made me angry. Nobody, nope. Don't even try it. Don't even bother. Be honest with yourself. Denial is not a river in Africa, right? So the first thing my sponsor told me to do, he said, what I want you to do is I want you to just start writing names, places, and institutions that you have a resentment towards. And I just want you to write their name all the way down. Okay. And then what's going to happen is those people are actually going to become numbers. Like my mom, she's listed first, so she's actually 1. And if you go through 1 all the way through here, that's who it'll be talking about. Number 1, number 1, number 1. So let's just go through my mom here real quick. The other trick is that my sponsor taught me was I was not to get into particulars. Okay. So it has to be like it has to be a sentence that kind of covers everything, because he said that I was to take mom and I could not write past this line. I got 1 line to write about it. Right. I'm going to tell you something. If you wouldn't have had me do that, I would have had a notebook for mom, a notebook for dad, a notebook, because I would have been writing and writing and writing, and it would have taken me forever. Not only that, but what happens is when you start writing about those particulars, it is going to start bringing that shit up for you. And what are you going to do with it right now? Not much, man. So we don't want you to go there. Okay. So for my mom, I put treats me differently than the other kids. That was when it came down to it, that was my resentment. That's what pissed me off. It's pretty general, but we could get into some particulars with that, right? Well, the next page is going to be self-esteem. Okay. How does it affect my self-esteem and my feelings? And I had to start all of these with I am or I am not. So I am not feeling equal. It hurts my pride. Does it affect your pocketbook? You guys, it always affects your pocketbook. Almost always. Ambitions, and it starts with I want, I don't want. I want to be treated like the other kids. Now, see how I'm going in succession with this. I haven't gotten into anything huge and deep. Okay. Because sometimes doing this will bring up some trauma. Right. And yeah, let's not get into trauma on this one. I'm gonna have to figure out how to go about that. So, when you're doing this, my sponsor also told me that you spend 15 to 20 minutes a day on it, and then you take it and you shut it. Okay, it's shut, and I cannot work on this again until tomorrow. Oh well, I just thought that nope, you're gonna have to wait because we're not there. So what are we teaching you there? To live in the moment. Okay? We're trying to teach you to live in the moment, or you're going to get caught up in the bullshit and you're going to have a hard time on your 4th step. Okay? Your 4th step is as hard as you decide that you're going to make it. I'm not going to say it's going to be easy. Okay? But you can make it harder by doing certain things like writing a novel. Okay? No, stay away from particulars. Let's grab the big book a little bit here. Because those are pretty much my suggestions. They're pretty straightforward. This would be a good, when you're doing your 4th step, it would be a good time to probably read on the story about Rule 62, right? About not taking yourself so seriously. Dude, will you please just go inconvenience someone else? Thank you. All right, so we turn back to our list for it held the key to the future. We were prepared to look at it from an entirely different angle. We began to see that the world and its people really dominated us. Right? And when you start getting into that part, those are when you're going to have some realizations about yourself. You're going to have epiphanies about the type of person that you are. Okay? Do not beat up on yourself. Remember that. Don't be a dick. That includes you. In that state, the wrongdoing of others, fancies or real, had the power to actually kill. All right? Do you guys grasp that line? Does everybody grasp that? That if we don't do this, we're dead. And you may not even go back to alcohol or drugs. Right? You get angry enough, your fucking heart will pop. I've seen it happen. Seen it happen, man. How could we escape? We saw that these resentments must be mastered, but how? We could not wish them away any more than alcohol. Now, here's a good key to how we're going to be able to handle this while we're doing it. This was our course. We realized that the people who wronged us were perhaps spiritually sick, just like you. Can you see it a little bit different now? Putting yourself in their shoes and maybe understanding that a little bit. Though we did not like their symptoms and the way they disturbed us, like ourselves, we were sick too. We asked God to help us show them the same tolerance, pity, and patience that we would cheerfully grant a sick friend. I don't do pity. When a person offended, we said to ourselves, this is a sick man. How can I be helpful to him? God save me from being angry. Thy will be done. Okay? And then while you are working on your 4th step, you are to avoid retaliation. You are to avoid anger. You are to avoid adding any more resentments onto your list. Okay? This is a good time to practice keeping your mouth shut. It's a good time. Okay? So what we get out of this, okay? We work 15, 20 minutes, put it away. God, it's yours now. Okay? And do that. Do not go back to it, or you're going to get caught up in it again. Okay? Because we are teaching you something. So let us teach you and follow the directions when it comes to the 4-step. Okay? If you are doing the 4-step and a lot of trauma is being brought up, it is because you are turning it into a novel. Okay? Sponsors, do not have your people do that unless you are a therapist and know how to handle trauma. So you've been trained on how to do a session and you understand at the end of that session the person can't feel that way. You understand that, right? Or they may go get drunk. All right, sponsors, so be fucking careful on what you do. Follow the directions. Stop making it up yourself. Okay? Another suggestion I have is if you decide to burn it or whatever, which a lot of people do, take a picture of your grudge list so you don't have to rewrite your 8th step. Okay. That's all I got. So I just wanted to yak on that a little bit before the Bronco game. So thank you, Gary, and the other few people that were hanging out. And we'll see you guys tomorrow. All right. I love you guys. Peace out.